have a prayer before our meeting, and I've asked Commissioner Dorsey if he would lead us in this prayer at this time.
Let us pray. Precious Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to live in the United States of America, the greatest country on planet Earth. We thank you for the many freedoms that we have as American citizens, and we thank you for the many men and women, both past, present, and future, who have either fought for or will continue to fight for these freedoms that we have as American citizens. We ask that you keep each of these individuals free of harm's way and keep them safe and bring them home to their families. I ask that you also be with the many men and women in law enforcement, fire, EMS, first responders, and all other emergency services. I ask that you keep them safe as they protect us and go about their daily lives. We are thankful for them, and we ask also for traveling mercies for each and every one here once the people's business is done, and see that everyone gets safely back to their homes, to their family. It's in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. May we stand and pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. All right, so we'll call the order the Tuesday, September 28, 2021 Board of Commissioners meeting. I'd like to welcome each one here tonight. And those that may be watching via YouTube, we appreciate you following along. First order of business tonight is to approve the agenda.
I have a couple of additions. Under old business E, we've got some grant verification paperwork that the chairman needs to sign. We can cover all of them. There's 4 of them, I believe. We can cover them all in one subject. It'd be CDBG grant, last one for the Water Authority, which isn't concerning.
Okay.
And then under executive session, need to add litigation to the real estate and personnel.
Okay, with those amendments, can we get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
We got a motion by Commissioner Teasley. We got to get a second.
Just a quick question. Are we going to do anything with the 4-H? Are you going to wait, or
Let me clarify something. I forward the email to Walter, the MOU.
Okay.
That's got to be cleared up first.
I know we talked about it. That's why I was asking.
Yeah,
so.
okay.
No problem.
All right, you give a second? I did. Commissioner Bennett gave a second. All right, any other discussion?
Yeah, I got a concern here. Last meeting, we approved some of these plats things, and I asked a question about where's the documentation, and we got some more to do tonight. I don't have any documentation in this at all.
All right, we got a paper copy of it right there. I got it about 5 o'clock this afternoon. I'll tell you about the documentation that I have.
I would like to see it in the packet before I make my decision, because I don't think we need to be making a decision without being able to read it. So I'd like to see that taken off the agenda. We got plenty of time on those issues. I said, we got plenty of time on those issues.
Well, on this particular one, there's really not. He's been working on it for 5 months, I know for a fact. They had to move some lines around because of the perk test. Is reading this back in here. Otherwise, it'd been 5 1-acre lots.
Well, the reason I got this concern is when we done the post house audit, people come in here, we made them prove by written documentation. Now, some of them come in here with notebooks from the banks and everything else, but I've seen none of that here, and it was, I think if we're going to do it, we need to start treating everybody the same way.
Up to y'all.
Well, man, I think that's what the county administrator's role is.
Well,
he's got the documentation where people have shown where they emails and things of that nature. I know when myself and Chairman Sayer met with Mr. White, he had that documentation.
But we hadn't seen it. And if y'all have privy to it, we ought to have privy to it too.
Well, it wasn't that we were just privy to it. It was just that he had questions, and we sat down and answered his questions.
I don't think there's good business sense to be making a decision without the proper documentation in my eyes. So.
I can go back and pull emails for the last 4 months on that, so I'd be more than happy to.
So you want to put that in form of motion, pull it off the agenda?
Yeah, I'll put that in form of motion.
Okay. Let's see, we ain't voted on the approving agenda yet.
Well, we need to do that before we
Okay.
approve it.
So which one do you want to take off, Ricky?
Well, the plat approves, I don't know how many they have. It says plat approves, it don't say.
When I done the agenda, I didn't have any.
He
I
put that in as a placeholder.
As a placeholder in case something come in between Friday and today. Because I was expecting this one at any time. I knew they'd been working on it for a long time. And it'd been at the health department for.
I don't really want to create problems for somebody, but for Mr. Day Forward, if we do any more, we need.
Sure, I'll be happy to. Again, I wouldn't hand you anything that I didn't have proof of that I was absolutely sure.
I trust you on that part, but still, we done to other people. They had proof to us. We had that in every minute or packet we had. So I'll remove my motion to do that. But Mr. Day Forward, I'd like for us to have it. It ain't got to be a whole bunch of bookwork. Just give us the timeline.
Correct. Kirk, I understand. He can do
But
that,
you do have, but on this one, you do have proof, right?
Yes.
That's what I
Got all
thought.
the documentation.
That's what I thought.
I mean, we shouldn't be micromanaging.
That's not micromanaging. I've always heard you say we need to be consistent. So what we've done with this
We'll be
group, we need to do
consistent.
with this group.
I mean, that's the county administrator's role.
Okay. We got a motion second. All in favor? Approve the agenda. It's 5-0 vote. All right. Next on the agenda is to approve the minutes of 9/14/2021. That was our regular meeting.
I got a clarification before we even make a motion. I'm just
Okay.
going to throw it out there. On page 3 in our packet, which will be the second page of the September 14th, 2021 meeting minutes, item 12C, plat approvals. The grandfather vote, it says Commissioner Dorsey opposed due to turnaround and gate on lot. It was actually the gate across the turnaround. I'm sorry, the fence across the turnaround. It wasn't a gate at all. We'll get that right in a minute.
Okay.
And that's 12C.
Yes.
Okay, that's noted. All right.
And then, if you want to just take them all at one time,
Yes.
there was we had a joint meeting. I think it should be documented with the city that there was no quorum for the city of Hartwell, even though there's some individuals listed there. It was advertised as a call meeting, a joint meeting, but no items were taken as far as the city is concerned. That's their problem to do the minutes, but since it was advertised as a joint meeting, I think it should be noted that there was no quorum there. And there was various reasons as to why.
Okay. All right. So we got a motion to,
I'll make a motion to approve with those amendments.
Second.
okay, we got a motion by Commissioner Dorsey, second by Commissioner Teasley. Any other discussion? Vote, all in favor? It's 5-0 vote. Now we'll call for the 9/21 joint meeting. I will say that I appreciate the participation out of the commissioners. All the commissioners were present at this meeting. The city, as Commissioner Dorsey said, did not have a quorum, and there were some health issues and some concerns, and I understood those, and 3 of the members communicated with me that they would not be there because of illness or whatever. So, but I thought it was a very good meeting. I think Terry done an excellent job of presenting updates with the chamber, and also that's where we certified our millage rate, and that's about all the business that was taken care of there that night as far as the county is concerned. All right, can we get a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll make a motion we approve the 9/21/21 call joint meeting.
All right, we got a motion by Commissioner Teasley. We got a second? Second. All right, we got a second by Commissioner Bennett. Any other discussion?
Just one other thing, I had that marked and I overlooked it, but item 2, where it's got Commissioner Dorsey abstained, citing possible should be taken out because it is a conflict of interest. In my
All right.
mind, anyway.
All right.
I'd also like to thank Terry for bringing all the information from the chamber, and she was very, very well prepared.
I second that motion.
Okay. All right. If no other discussion, we'll call for a vote. All in favor? It's a 5-0 vote. All right, we'll move on to remarks by invited guests, committees, or authorities. We have no one that I know of. So we'll go to reports by constitutional officer and department heads. Mr. Gordon? None tonight. Okay, thank you. County administrators report?
Yeah, I got a couple, 3 things. Commissioner Carter had asked about the splosh receipts last meeting. And here's the overall numbers. As of the 30th, which be the payment this month, we've collected a total of $13,797,806. Of course, 14.4% of that goes to the city of Hartwell, which is, so far, the city of Hartwell, if we've got the check wrote yet. Next check, they'll have $1,986,884.
That's a lot of money.
And if you look down at the breakdown, just so everybody remember, the IBA was $3.2 million, and water and sewer $3.2 million, fire department $1.4 million, public safety was $1.214 million, recreation $500,000, city of Royston $358,400,000. The town of Byers was $185,600. The town of Cannon $37,120. Road department total was $3.6 million. If you look at this, it's 86% of the $16 million that these numbers were set on was total collection $16 million. We've collected 86.24% at this point. We're 76.6% into the time period, so we're running ahead of inspection. Now, the key to this is once we hit 16 million, the city of Hartwell's 14.4% drops off. Anything over that 16 million goes directly to roads. And if if the economy stays like it is and the spending stays exactly the same, we should collect close to 17 million. All when all said and done. We have no idea how the economy is going to be till this thing runs out, but that's it runs continuously. And you may hear someone talk about their budget numbers. If you look to the left-hand side of where, when we started this thing, we budgeted X number of dollars per year per department. Just, you got to have a budget number. And that's where the budget number comes from, how much they allotted in a budget each year.
Before we get a lot of false hopes out there, that extra money that's going to roads, just so everybody knows, we got a lot of equipment issues out there.
We have a lot of equipment.
Nobody needs to go making commitments about paving roads because I don't know that you're going to have the money to do it. You may have some.
Well, I know we got at least 4 pieces of equipment we're going to have to replace. We already got one now. You know about the $120-something thousand for a loader.
You got 2 sidearm bush hogs down. That's why all the limbs not being cut. We got some serious equipment.
Yeah, there's several various pieces of equipment that we're going to need to buy at some point in the next year or so. Is there any questions on this? Anything? I didn't put in the amount that's been spent because that's a fluid number. It changes daily. It'll come out, the audit, when the audit comes out, it'll have them all nailed down to what they are. But nobody has exceeded their budget in it. I will say that.
Thank you for that.
I meant the guy that ready for the packet, but I ain't ever ready Friday. I had to do it today. Next thing is sales ratio. Our appeal, thankfully, was successful. They gave us a 38.14, which is fine. We were looking for 38. That'll give us the 40% on the utilities. I got the notification this afternoon from the state. We got our tax collection order from the state, so the tax bills should go out fine. And right before I left yesterday afternoon, I got an email, as much, y'all probably did too, from ACCG about the governor's allocation of $1,000 apiece for public safety personnel. I checked the website today. They don't have it ready to apply for yet, or anyhow how we're going to apply for it. But they did approve it yesterday, and it's $1,000 for all certified law enforcement officers, firefighters, full-time $1,000, volunteer, which is wonderful, $600 apiece.
300 would.
300 apiece. 300 apiece. Which is great. The volunteers actually get something. But that covers school resource officers, game and fish, EMS, 911 was included. First time I ever been involved, included in the public safety stuff, which is good. But when they get that ready, I'll give you more information. We may need a vote on it to apply for. I don't know. I hadn't seen the particulars on it yet.
I read on that. From what I read, it's anyone involved in public safety, and it goes to a lot.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But there's got to be an application process that we don't know what it is.
Yeah, it is an application process.
But other than that, that's all I have.
I mean, we already got county employees asking about it. And so just so they need to know this is not something that's going to happen the next day or so.
Oh, no. It's like a lot of other stuff, the money's come down. They announced the money's coming, but it'll take a month before they tell you how it's going to come. So, again, we'll stay on top of it. As quick as it's ready, we'll do what we need to do. Other than that, that's all I have.
All right. Thank you, Terrell. Now we move on to Chairman's report. As far as Chairman's report, I don't have anything tonight, so we'll move on to District 1. Commissioner Bennett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. District 1's fine. I'm receiving no phone calls. My district, everybody's very understanding. But I was in a conversation yesterday with a Hart County resident, and it was about the gym we use for our COVID vaccinations at Flat Shoals Church. What I understand, the church is picking up the tabs on that totally. I think that we as the county commissioners should help them out with their utilities or whatever they need. I don't know if this needs to be put in the form of a motion or just something that needs to be turned over to you.
That really needs to come from the state. I mean,
that was offered when the contract was signed.
Yeah.
It was the church decision not to accept anything. We won't have to put the money in there. But if the church would take it, we won't have to give it. But at the time the agreement was signed, the church chose to cover their bills for themselves.
Okay. Other than that, I'm fine. District 1. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
We do appreciate the thought process in that, Commissioner Bennett. We'll go to Commissioner Teasley, District 2.
I appreciate our law enforcement, first responders, our fire department, EMS, and I appreciate all our county employees for what they do. That's all I got.
All right, we'll go to Commissioner Carter, District 4.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I got a question. Flat Shoals Road Bridge been out for a good while. Is there any plans? I had somebody ask me about that.
The plans are either ship the rest of that rock off and smooth it down, or move the road bed over where it's the flatter spot. Well, I've talked to every resident on that road at one time during all this, and all of them want it left back because the forward's like it used to be. It is, you have to make a little left if you're coming in off the Byersville Highway side. You got to go right to get off the flat spot to cross the rock. There's a hump right there that needs to be chiseled down.
Is that going to be done?
Yeah, I mean, it's laying out, and I've talked to Milford Excavation, and they went there and busted most of it out. As quick as he gets something turned loose, he'll get back in there with a jackhammer and jackhammer that rock off.
All right, thank you. All right. I got a request a while back for Fiddler's Drive, and when we got to looking at it, it didn't show it being a county road. It showed it on a private road. But when I talked to the homeowner on there that I had talked to, they said that it had been paid by the county more than once, they believe.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't doubt that at all. We got a lot of roads that's just been things done to over the years that we don't necessarily have a record on. That's up to this board. If you want to officially take it in, that's fine too. I'll do the research and see who actually owns the property of it.
Well, I think these people thinks it's county road now, so I think.
Well, they probably do.
ought to move forward.
Again, especially if it's been in there and we paved it, I'm sure they think it's a county road.
Yeah.
But to make it official, where we got an official record of it, we'll have to
Send
go
out
through.
right-of-way deed. You got to send out right-of-way deeds if you don't have them.
I can't find any.
So that's what the first step.
Yeah, well, that'd be the first step, to do the normal paperwork on it.
Well, I'd appreciate it, and I know they would if we started moving forward with it.
All right.
If that's what the board wants to do.
Your district,
Yep.
it's your call.
Yep, I say let's move forward with it. So, see what we can come up with. All right, we spoke about last meeting, the ACCG and annexation. It said it was time to get the ACCG involved with the changes to annexation laws. Well, I got to reading around them. They already involved. They might not be involved with things that we want to be involved.
Involved in the arbitration process.
Yeah.
Only, specifically, not the annexation process.
But we need to, that's what I read, so they are involved in it, so I'm perfectly willing to work with them to get more involved in it themselves. All right, what's going on with Byron Station? How we coming with the Byron Fire Station?
We're in a holding pattern, waiting on a site plan to get the permit from the EPD.
Okay.
I had the engineers and surveyors working on that site plan now. They've already taken all the measurements. I'm just waiting on the final drawing.
Well, I got one more thing and I'll be done, Mr. Chairman. I've got some information here I'd like to share with the board. It's about FEMA grants. We've had Double Church's fire department, volunteer fire department get $60,000 for SCBA units. Banks County Fire Department got $224,000. Demers Fire Department got $25,714. Sandy Cross volunteer fire department was also in Franklin County, got $23,000. So right in our general area here, they $333,523. If you want to write that down.
There's actually more than that. Every county got $400,000.
No, they didn't go with every county. Most of it was in the.
Yeah. I just heard the other day that every county got $400,000.
Yeah, but we're not doing anything to try to get these grants. We need to start.
Yeah, we are too. GMRC's ones filing the grants for us.
When? This year?
Last year.
Well, they didn't do it this year, so.
We've done it 2 consecutive years.
Somebody needs to get on the stick to some GMRA board, shouldn't they?
Well, I guess I ought to, but the thing about it is, you know,
We paid them their fee to write the grant.
really the fire department needs to go to the GMRC and ask for them to do that. Or, you know, I got them to
We
do
did.
it for folks.
They're writing the grants.
Yeah,
But not this year. I'm looking at.
we didn't. I don't know. They hadn't done one this physical year, no.
I don't think they done one last year. There was no 2020
Well,
grant
the way it
done.
worked, we paid them the fee the first year to file it.
Yep.
It didn't get approved.
I know how it works.
So, yeah, so they turned around and we'll file it one more time for that same fee. So that was 2 consecutive years they
I
filed.
think it's $500.
Yeah, something, I don't remember the exact number.
If they fail, they do it again free the next year.
Yeah.
But they
So, I mean,
all
that's where
around.
we at.
Rawson's getting them. You know, if the fire department wants to come to me and say, Ricky, I want you to help me do it, I'll do everything I can.
Yeah.
But, you know, but we need to start going after some of these grants.
I agree.
I thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's all I got.
All right, District 5, Commissioner Dorsey.
Several things. I'll try to be brief. There is an effort underway to get Lily Sherman some help with these septic tank permits and soil tests and to get some of this new construction stuff moving. They have a 20-day window in which from the time the application's filed to get back with folks, and it's running right at 21 days. And this is working days, not calendar days, just so everybody knows. We've talked about a moratorium, and we've actually enacted a moratorium on subdivisions and what we're doing here. But when you look around all of northeast Georgia, all of us are experiencing a lot of growth. Our neighbors in Franklin County, we network with Franklin County commissioners, and they've talked about some things with growth. But in my travels, I picked up a Jackson County Herald, and the Jackson County Board of Commissioners okayed a one-year housing moratorium. 1 year.
Is that on all new houses?
All new developments.
That's not a house. That's just
This subdivisions, residential development. City of Commerce is dealing with the same things. Banks County has a residential moratorium in place through the middle of December while it's doing its subdivision review. So these are issues that all of us are dealing with. This is not just a Hart County issue, and I thought I made that clear whenever I brought that up when we talked about it, but I just wanted to share that the purpose of our moratorium being 180 days was because we had to get our county budget done, and that's done now. But Jackson County with the SK battery plant, all the growth that they've got, I mean, it's just wild there. And I also wanted to, there was some correspondence put out and an email sent out from the Republican Party, and it contains some false information in it, and I think everybody needs to know. It talked about the Board of Commissioners voted no on computers for the Board of Elections office. That's not true. This board never voted on any computers at all. And Terrell, it's my understanding when you met with the department head, you put that money in the data processing account, the 15235.
That's correct. That's correct. Several years ago, the auditing changed the way we do things. We can't put an individual computer in a department anymore.
Right. I just wanted to clarify that publicly.
Yeah, the money's in that budget for the computer.
Not in the Board of Elections, but in the IT data processing.
Correct. All general fund computer stuff like it's in that budget.
To me, it is imperative that people know the facts and to put out false information, and after they've had time to correct that, but they've chosen not to do so. The other thing is poll worker pay. This board listened and heard, and we actually gave our poll workers an increase and it's not much, $7.50 an hour to $8 an hour. These are not part-time full-time employees. These are just occasional workers, and they report to the Board of Elections. I think we also made it clear if they had problems filling these positions, we were willing to come back and look at it. But the problem that bothers me is there was no credit given for the fact that we did increase the pay, even though there was a want for poll manager, poll supervisor, and in some of these polls, there's only 3 or 4 people working there. So I'm not trying to throw rocks. I'm a totally transparent person, and I feel like that the truth needs to be out there, and that's the purpose of bringing this up. I did speak to the gentleman who wrote the email, and
was it email or Facebook?
it was both. This individual's wife is on the Board of Elections, so I just wanted to get that clear, that this board has done basically everything in our power to help and assist, and that Board of Elections budget has increased from, I believe it was $106,000 last year to $135,000 this year. And the biggest concern that we addressed was the fact that there was no succession plan for the current election supervisor. So now that we've allocated money that starts in the October 1st budget, which is this Friday, for a part-time person to work 20 hours per week so that we have a backup to the election superintendent. So I just want everybody to know that. It's about a 27% increase in that budget, and it's not something that we took lightly. And I wanted the whole story to be told. So that was the purpose of bringing that up tonight. The last thing I want to mention is somewhat of a sad note. We lost a lady who used to work for the Board of Commissioners, a longtime employee, Ms. Carolyn Adams, passed away last week, and she worked at the transfer station for quite some time, and I just wanted to mention that and recognize her for her efforts, even though she had long been retired, but she was still somebody who worked for us for a long time. So that's all I've got, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Thank you. Thank you all for your reports. We'll move on to the Old business, 12A, building regulations, construction codes. This is Chapter 18, Article 1 and 2, our ordinance edition. We'll take this as the third and final reading. Do we have a motion to do this?
I have a question before we do this.
Okay.
Have you talked to Bureau Veritas yet?
I've talked to them, I haven't got a solid answer yet.
Okay. Do we need to hold off? I think we should hold off until we have somebody to enforce this. If we go ahead and take this tonight, it's adopted as an ordinance, and we have nobody to enforce it.
Right.
Well, that's true, but I need authorization to hire these people.
Go for it. I'll make that motion.
And plus, somebody here to take care of the paperwork here, so.
I understand. But I mean, we got to have an answer from them, and if we have to have a call meeting or whatever.
Okay, that's fine. I got to call into them, and I got a backup plan for somebody else, so.
So we're going to be covered effective October 1?
No, not effective October 1, but no. It's going to take at least 30 days to get everything going. So that's up to y'all. If you want to hold off.
Can we just table this until we get those places?
Just not take any action.
Right.
If everybody's okay with it.
I'm good
I just think we're going to look silly if we got an ordinance and nobody to enforce
I
it.
do
All right,
too.
that's fine, I agree with you.
We're kind of stupid.
I got a lot of issues with that, and then I'll be glad to talk to Walter about it. I mentioned it last meeting, some of the issues I had, so.
Then I've got a couple of things that really are technical corrections that need to be captured before it's finally read. I mean, that could be added tonight if you want to go forward tonight.
Okay, we can go ahead and have our discussion, and then we'll take it as a third and final reading later on. That's what the board.
We're taking no action, and Mark can get what he wants done and bring it back to the next reading.
Get with Walter offline and be done with it.
We'll just take it as a discussion tonight.
And I can tell you that the changes I made are highly technical. That one would be capitalizing Department of Community Affairs. There'd be another one in the next sentence on residential building. It says that it's a building intended for occupancy. I believe that we should add human occupancy. And then the next paragraph, 18-2, has a reference to the city, which should be the county. And that was all I saw. There may be probably other things that ought to be done, but
Okay. Any other discussion? All right. All right, we'll take no action on this tonight. Commissioner Dorsey, you made a motion to go ahead and hire.
Just authorize the county attorney to go and get something in place. County administrator to get something in place with the.
I do think that person needs to be on board. I think you get a second on it.
It's not a matter of the money. The money's in the budget already. It's just a matter of getting it done.
Manpower, getting the resource.
Okay,
Somebody to do it.
we got a motion by Commissioner Dorsey and a second by Commissioner Teasley to authorize county administrator to go ahead and hire this organization.
Get them ready to come in.
If, any discussion?
Nope, I'm good with it.
If not, we'll call for a vote. All in favor of it? That's a 5-0 vote.
Just a point of clarification so everybody knows, we're not just going into this blindly. We've actually had Scott Delosier, who was the Franklin County building guy, came and did a presentation and talked to us about it and talked about this group, and there's been some communication. So this is not being something that we're doing blindly, just so everybody knows, because we didn't spend a lot of time on it tonight.
All right, we'll move on to 12B, Hotel Motel Tax Ordinance Amendment. This is Chapter 78, Article 191-194, third and final reading.
I'll make a motion, we take this as a third and final reading.
I second.
We got a motion by Commissioner Dorsey, second by Commissioner Bennett. Any discussion?
Yeah, I got something. I mentioned it the last meeting. I'm going to mention it again. But, you know, when I mentioned, Walter wasn't here when I mentioned it the last meeting. When I mentioned short-term rental, I wasn't talking about taxing only. I was talking about a whole host of things, like protections for the neighbors and stuff like that right there. And Terrell actually said at the meeting the other night that he was getting a lot of complaints. So we need to look into that too. I don't know if I need to put that in form of motion or what, but we need to look
I don't
into that.
think it would have to be in a different,
It would not be germane to the tax.
I agree with you.
I understand that. I understand that, but
I agree, there's some things that need to be addressed, and, at the risk of sounding like a broken record, most communities handle that with zoning rules.
Well, state's kind of tied our hands somewhat too with some legislative changes on these things, so.
It changed last year, or the year before, where if you required a
Last year.
VRBO or a short-term rental property, if you required them to put up a privacy fence around their property, that legislation ordinance went for the whole county. You'd have to have, every house would have to have a privacy fence around it. That's the way the legislation is written. So that pretty well ties our hands on what we can and cannot do as far as signaling out VRBOs and short-term rentals.
it's very limited, but the locals got control over now.
Right. All right. So we got a motion by Commissioner Dorsey and a second by Commissioner Bennett.
Yes.
All right. Or you second? Second, okay. All right. Any other discussion? If not, we'll call for a vote. All in favor? It's 5-0 vote. All right, we'll move on to the plat approval under August the 10th, 2021 grandfather vote on moratorium 12C.
This is the plat. Originally, months ago, it was 5 1-acre, little acre lots. When they done the soil samples, so you got to set this house already here. You got a septic system there, which limited the space on this lot to get a septic system. So we had to make an offset back here. And this lot over here has a bad soil up in here, so they had to go back in here to get this soil. That's the reason for the change. Like I say, they've been working on this for months. And it wasn't set out to be less than a half-acre lot. It was set out to be a full-acre lot. So this is the change yesterday.
Excuse me.
And the paper copy out there, if you want to get better, that's the paper copy. And
Green Meadows Drive.
So, we got, I want to see that. So where's the drain field repair area going to be for lot 1?
lot 1, I honestly don't know. That's what it is called. I would assume there's room for it there because she's got
Clay Brown Road right here.
on the whole flat.
So that means the perks and all that stuff's been completed.
It's complete. It's complete help for the time.
Are they going to remove the septic tank off of this lot too?
No, that's an existing house.
No, lot 1 is that existing house.
Right, it is.
Well, that's
That's
a
the
buffer.
buffer.
Didn't get any closer to the existing house lot.
So the septic tank is actually on lot 1,
Yeah.
but the buffer zone is over here. Okay.
Yeah, that's a buffer zone around where they can have a septic system starting because of the neighborhood septic system.
So none of the drain field or nothing's over here.
No, all drain field will be back there, we'll keep it back on the backside on lot 2 and lot 3.
And this was before the moratorium,
Oh, yeah. That's
a month or so.
like I said, I've been dealing with this gentleman.
You want this back there?
There's a missing piece to this puzzle. Is there not a house here?
On lot 1, there's a house.
No, but beside
He's
lot
talking about
1.
below the lot, beside the lot. The corner of Clay Brown Road, yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yes, there's a house.
That's not his property.
There's a house there.
There's a house.
It's a 1 acre square lot. It's not, our property right in that house.
But
When did we
It's
start
gone-
working on this?
No, I wrote the check to James Hall, November the 11th last year.
Like I say, this has been going on for months. So this is
But here's the problem that I have. Where's the septic drain field at for this already pre-existing house? And where's the repair area going to
That's
be?
up to Liddy to tell us. I don't know.
I understand, but if we approve this, somebody that buys Lot 2 may have a problem. Y'all understand where I'm going with this?
My understanding, she approved the septic system for Lot 2 back in the back. In here.
Is that the,
I mean, you see for Lot 1, the buffer, the circle, actually encroaches into this other lot up here, the one where there's no lot. I mean, right there. So where is the septic system at for that lot? That's what I want to know.
I was depending on, Lily to make sure that that's going to work within the guidelines that she has to, work with. And, I mean, I'm expecting that to happen. She's been very, thorough, about the process here. And but like Mr. Parham was saying, that the whole purpose of adding those two keys to Lot 2 and 3, behind lots 4 and 5 in order to, have enough drain field. Lots 4 and 5 have plenty of good soil, there's no issue, we got plenty of room, and we work, very, very well within the guidelines. So, it's county water down that road, Green Meadow, so there shouldn't be any kind of issue for the, any kind of well or anything like that for that lot there at the corner.
Well, there's issues with driveways, there's issues with that drain field being driven over. You're not supposed to do all those things. And if we go and approve this subdivision right now without knowing some of these answers, this could cause problems for you down the road.
Where are you going to drive over
Well, I'm wanting to see where the driveway is for this lot. I'm pulling it up on QPub.
which one?
Corner lot?
The corner one down there.
Yeah, the
One's
lot
off of
comes-
Clay Brown.
Driveway comes from the property line for lot 1, and that corner lot is right next to it.
Why are we
That's where the
concerned about
driveway
that?
comes in.
And are there any restrictions on this property? I thought this stuff couldn't be subdivided on Green Meadows again. This is Paul Martin's old subdivision, Walter, remember that?
When we bought that property 20 years ago, we refused to set up a sign to Paul Martin's, just called the HOA or,
Covenant.
covenant thing. We told them, we'll buy property, but we got to sign a doc, no deal. And we bought without signing the covenant. Gentlemen, I'd like to, make
If you would you mind coming up here to the podium so and state your name and yes,
okay.
right there.
My name is Mike Williams, and I'm now the owner. My mother previously owned the property. She lived there for 20 years, but now she lives in my backyard. 75 years old. She's so far a cancer survivor. She was a postal worker for a number of years until she couldn't continue due to health concerns. But my real motivation here and what I'm driving at is the fact that she was never able to secure enough. If she has a serious health concern, and she had to go into a nursing home, she's not going to be able to pay for it. Okay, so my entire motivation here, Lot 1 is sold. If y'all approve this tonight, I'm going to the closing table Thursday, and we're done. Lots 2 through 5 will then become income producing, and the entire objective of that income is to make sure that mom's got the funds to be able to pay for any kind of health concern that she has going forward. And right now it's going well. She's like I said, her health is hanging in there, but she's 75 and she smoked for 65 of them years. I don't know when she started smoking, a long time ago. But anyway, we like Mr. Partain said, we have worked on this and worked on this and worked on this and not to mention the fact that I've had 2 different surveyors, that I had to have. One just didn't get the job done, so I hired Aaron Blomberg. Y'all probably familiar with Aaron. He's up here pretty frequently, and they did, a great job. I'm really hoping y'all can get this taken care of this evening so I can finish this up and be able to, like I said, secure the plan, going forward.
Well, my concern is, and this is a problem when we don't have this thing, until we get it tonight, okay? It's the first time I've seen this, and I can't vote for this, I'm just going to tell you. Because I don't understand what repercussions are going to be affected by the neighbors if we allow you to do this.
Are they on the well?
There are wells on these properties, I'm almost positive.
Oh, yeah, they're drawn out there.
Yeah, but I'm talking about over here, the Roystons, and I'm sure there's a well up here on this first one. So I don't know if these folks are on county water or if they're using wells. That's one of the first questions. The other thing, and I'm not trying to give you a hard time, I just want you to understand where we're coming from.
Yeah, you got some regulations you try to follow.
Had we had this before tonight, we got it Friday, we could have went out and looked at it and seen and answered a lot of our questions. But I just don't know where these wells are, where these set drain fields could go. It just puts us in a difficult position.
Look, if I could try to answer what questions I could, I'll be happy to. The drain fields, as you asked that, which lots are you asking about? Are you asking about property that's not mine or part of this?
There's no information on the Royston property that's here. So I don't know, if they've got a well right here on this property line, you're going to be limited. You're going to have to be at least 100 feet for the drain field.
That was the purpose of the key, to give us plenty of drain field out there for lots number 3.
But I don't know where it's at. Where is it?
Well, with all due respect, does it matter if there's plenty of room? I mean,
yes, it matters.
Well, if they're meeting the requirement, and from a perspective of, they have enough room there, enough, footage.
Do you know if they're on county water or if they're on the well?
No, sir, I do not.
So if their well is 5-10 feet from that property line, and then you go and you put a drain field right up next, or try to, right up next to that property line, it's going to contaminate their well.
Would Lily have signed off on that?
Correct. That was.
I don't think she looked at this. That's part of the problem.
Oh, you don't think she looked at it?
I would have to say that I really thoroughly believe that she has. I mean, that was the whole purpose of the design of the lots.
Well, sir, here's my problem. I understand, but where is the well at? Well, I'm almost positive. All these lots that were developed back in the early 2000s, they had to have wells because they didn't get water out there until probably 2010 or 2011.
Right.
So I don't know who's on county water, who's on wells.
Right.
If there are wells out there, the health department's going to require those wells to be filled before you're going to be able to get within 100 feet with a drain field. And you're asking us to approve something that, in my opinion, we don't have all the information.
Can we get that information from Lily? This week, I'm saying. Maybe get it from her.
I mean, possibly could, and
find
have a
her
call
reason,
meeting.
find
I'm not trying to be difficult. I'm just trying to protect everybody involved.
I think it would have been Avery's responsibility if the well done 100 foot of that property line, it had to be shown on the plan.
But he doesn't show anything on here.
Well, that's the point. I mean,
But if you look at that, can you pull up Q Public?
Okay.
Pull up Q Public, Terrell.
Let's see, right here,
Right.
That's 2 wells. Okay.
Right.
Those 4 are on, my property, but just as there has it marked there on that, on my property, like Mark said, he's required to show it if it's within 100 feet. Those are the requirements. So, I'm not trying to say that, it doesn't matter. What I'm saying is if the best, I guess, methods and practices, okay, are having it be 100 feet, okay, well then we've done that. And, we're following the guidelines.
Well, let's keep in mind also, this is at one time 5 1-acre lots? 4?
No, sir, it was one 5-acre lot.
1 5-acre lot?
Yes, sir.
And then why did we go to these half-acre lots?
But, well, like I was saying, the only way that we could...
They had to have room for this one, you get to see.
But
Exactly.
See, if you pull this up on Q Public, you're going to see.
Is this the original plan, or was there another plan prior to this?
If you'll look down, as he pulls up Q Public, you'll notice all down through Green Meadow, perfect little 1 acre ribbon strips all the way down through there. Now, that was prior to the soil science,
That's my point.
examinations.
It was 1 acre.
Yeah, they all were.
They were 1
All the
acre
way down,
lots.
Green Meadow is,
And the
down one
reason-
side and back up the other.
The reason this was changed because of the perk testing on the soil.
Right, so the requirements changed, so we had to.
So Lily had
adapt
to have these lots had to be adjusted on Lily's recommendation.
Correct.
Okay.
She's the one that told
I'm
us.
not arguing that.
Based-
Well,
I'm
based
arguing
on
this part right
her
here.
and Joe
Where
Morris.
is their well? Because if you look, where's the well at on this house up here? Is there a well on that lot?
I'm pretty sure that those little houses there to the right, up close to Green Meadow.
You think that's a well?
Well, I don't know that one is, but whatever those two
In the center?
figures are.
Two little small round
That's
houses.
the dirt spot right there. No, I think it's possible. That might be a dog house.
Yeah, ain't no well.
I'm not there. Very possible.
So measure tail from here 100 feet, let's see where we're at.
Well, if that right there was gonna be a problem, it'd be a problem already.
That's what I'm pointing at. Everything she does.
I'm not against it. I'm just trying to look out and protect all of us
Right.
until we
Well,
get the information. But if that's the case, if one of those right there is a well and it's in use, you're going to have to be 100 feet for that drain field. And that's going to take up all your room.
The drain field gonna go back here where the number's at.
I'm not sure where you're pointing.
Is it going to be
Number 2.
Is it gonna go back there
Where's
where
the
the
drain
number
field
2
gonna be
is?
here?
The drain field.
It's gonna be around.
Is it going to be in here?
No, the house will go here up towards the road, and then the septic will be back here.
That's what I'm talking about. That's where the drain field's at.
Right.
So where would the septic tank go? Right next to the house, or is it going? That's going to have to be still going to have to be close to the house.
I don't know what the requirements are as far as having, I know personally the
Tank's got to be 50 feet from a well.
Well, as far as from a well, I know that, what I'm saying is there's no parameters on how close the septic tank has to be to the house. So I'm thinking.
It's usually right there, Eddie.
Back here,
They want
So
it
that's
close
the
as
cost, and, the closer they can get, the less, line they have to run, of course.
County waters on Green Meadows.
Yeah.
If they put the lines out here, they're gonna have to run a line from point A to point B to get to the drain.
Right.
Tell, pull up. Go back to Q Public.
My personal house in Madison County, I've got a septic line.
Come on down.
Running to an existing septic tank that was on the property when I built 250 foot.
I run one 251 from the house to the tank, 250.
Yeah.
I run one that far.
Yeah.
4-inch line.
Those are granite slabs that the Roystons, they run a granite countertop business. And that kind of encroached on my property a little bit with the granite slabs. I had a conversation with Ms. Royston. I told her
Tommy Ross.
very pretty, very flat, shiny rocks on that property.
Somebody get a countertop when they get out there.
I just want to make sure we're not causing a health problem.
Well, I understand, but
I don't know where the other well's at.
Can you zoom that up in a bit? And have clarity?
But as strict as Lily is, I don't think her stamp would be on this thing if
No,
she
sir.
had.
And
I got a lot of confidence in her.
Commissioner Dorsey, I mean, your comments about her needing help and, that's well heard, and I've don't want to try to voice any kind of frustration towards that, but I will tell you that my particular property here, it was not a 20 to 21 day. Today is day 28, okay, since the final plan was,
But she's without sick too, so.
Yeah, I know. And listen, I'm not trying to complain. I'm simply saying if there's anything y'all can do to get her some help, obviously, she needs it. So
She's a state employee. She's not one of ours.
I make a motion we approve that as a moratorium, as a grandfathered in as a moratorium. Can I have a second?
I think we need to wait, guys, just to find out where this well's at and make sure before we go and cause this gentleman some grief.
I have to second it based on Lily. I know Lily.
Why don't you try to call Lily and see? I just texted her, see if she'll answer. We can always come back to it, but
Why don't we come back to it?
I just don't feel like it was looked at, guys.
I'm talking about going to the meeting to see if she texts us back or calls. And come back to
You
it.
talking about pushing this on down on the agenda till we may see if we can get a call?
That's right.
Well, we got a motion second on the table.
If you got a motion second, you got to call for a vote.
Any other discussion?
I just think we're making a mistake. We're rushing into something we've just seen for 15 minutes.
Well, that's what we're talking about there.
Where's the mistake going to be? I don't follow.
If the well is over here on this property line or close, that means he's got to be 100 feet from that well. If that's the case, anything in here is going to be the drain field. And then how are you going to access getting to a house back here without driving across the drain field?
I think the house is going to be built up here.
The drain field could be
But
back.
Drain field is going to be back here.
But she
It doesn't
marks
matter
out,
where that well would be.
she lays out where the tank, the lines, and the repair area goes, though, and I don't think she would put it within 100 feet.
This is the point you guys are missing.
I'm not missing that.
This
Your
is-
well on your property and my property,
But
she's not going to let you.
she's not looking at the Royston property. She's looking at his property.
I think she is. I'll be honest, I
She's
do.
not.
I think
don't
she is.
so.
You think she'd allow a drain field next to somebody else's well?
Can I make a,
They're gonna have to go get a permit for the drain field, the septic tank, at another time.
Right.
That's a totally separate thing. But my point is, if the well is along this property line, it's gonna change the dynamics of this lot 3.
make your motion, make your motion contingent on talking to Lily.
They have to show it.
That would
Well, let's
fix it.
call Aaron and see. I'll text him. He's one that does it. I just wanna make sure we're right. I'm not trying to be difficult.
We can go ahead and prove it with the contingency. She has to check it. If it's good, no well, then you good to
I
go.
don't live, she wouldn't have signed off on this.
I don't believe she would either. In fact, she knew there was a well there, she wouldn't have.
She checked one out there for me, and she wanted to know where the neighbor's well was before she'd even start.
And if there is a well there and they go to get a permit for a septic tank, they're not going to put one. You're not going to get a permit.
Somebody be buying a piece of property they can't do nothing with.
Well, and I keep going back to this was 1 acre tracts. And the reason it was changed is because of what we're talking about now, health.
It's the soil test.
Soil test. Wouldn't hurt.
I had no expectation of going to that crazy configuration.
Well, they done that because
It's all going to be the same as the rest of
if you know Bloomberg is pretty sharp, he done that so you could get what you needed.
Yeah.
Is she answering?
Aaron is. I just said on the Michael Williams plat, did anyone locate the Royston's well or drain field? Drain field's really not an issue, the well would be the problem. So, let's see what he says. It's not gonna matter because this county water there. If this subdivision had county water in it initially and there were no wells, this would all be a moot point.
Yeah, I understand that.
That subdivision is out there near Blanton Shirley Road, isn't it? Ain't that right?
Beside the racetrack.
Yeah, 7.
Next to what?
It don't matter, it'll take it either way.
Racetrack.
Near Blanton Shirley Road, right there somewhere.
It's right there, right in front of the racetrack. Yeah.
I'm still waiting. He hasn't responded.
Maybe try to run a look at that pile. He gonna do a bunch of them, he might not have them all
You
in.
want us to move on and come back to it in the meeting? Give him time to answer.
Okay, I'll withdraw my motion.
I would draw mine in.
Okay.
I second.
But
I just wish we had
I
the
think the man
information.
deserves an answer tonight.
Yeah, I agree. Call Lily, Tara. Phone a friend.
She wouldn't take my call either, no doubt.
She's sick, she may not take nobody's call.
She's back now.
You've been sick.
She was out some
This
last
thing
week.
right here was signed today,
Yeah, she was out some last week.
9/28, date is it?
She decided to vote about it this afternoon.
All right, we're going down through the agenda, and we'll come back to that, okay, if that's all right, Mr. Okay, thank you.
I'm trying to get some answers from Mrs. Royston.
Okay.
I don't know the people in that corner, but Ms. Royston I do.
Okay.
So I'll try to
Okay.
contact her and see if I can get an answer for that. That's all well and county.
We're coming back.
If it's county water, it's irrelevant. I mean, if it's a well.
Exactly.
But the well have to be filled in.
You know, that, for, anyway, I'll see what I can do.
All right, we're going to the amendment, Chapter 66, Article 8, truck traffic exhibit A, addition to Kelly Road and Anchorage Road being added to the no truck list.
So moved.
We take a motion to take this as a first reading. Commissioner Dorsey makes a motion.
I second.
We got a second by Commissioner Carter. Any discussion? If not, we'll call for a vote. All in favor? It's 5-0 vote. All right, now we'll move on to the CDBG grant.
Basically, what this is when they bid out the grant writing administration and the project management, engineering project management, and the verifications for these, they sent out for bids. They got 5 responses. 1 bid, 4 no bids. So it's a single source option to choose. When it's a single source, the Board of Commissioners with the governing body has to acknowledge that it was a single source. And that's what all these documents are for, is for the chairman to sign acknowledging that we are aware it was a single source and for the reasons.
So they only got one bidder?
Motion from Commissioner Dorsey. A second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Teasley. Any discussion?
They got 5 responses from 5 different companies. 5 declined to bid, or no bids, but they responded and 1 bid.
All right. We'll call for a vote. All in favor? It's 5-0 vote. And that takes care of that. Tara?
I might have to sign it again.
Was that all of that?
Yes, that's all of that.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, that one, all 4 of them's acknowledging the same thing to different people.
Okay. We'll move on to new business, Hamilton setback variance request, 215 Rays Road, partial C27B 048.
Doesn't sound like I looked at it.
Basically, these lots on Ray Road, y'all have granted variances on one or two other lots up in on this same road. They're all real shallow. Y'all, Miss Hamilton? Okay, they was going to try to be here tonight, but I included the letter from them in your packet. He's requesting a 25-foot variance from the 40-foot setback rule, and you have a sketch of this lot of house there. Here, and this he has been delivered and got the septic approval for this drain field back here in this amount. And he's requesting a setback of 25 foot from the 40-foot setback to a 15-foot setback to the edge of his carport.
I didn't see anything. Is he building a new house? Is that what
It's a new house. There's nothing on the lot yet.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a new house.
I want to ask Walter a question, and you too, sir. If this affidavit that you have when you get a building permit, it says right here, it says, by signing below, you're hereby certifying that you are aware and will comply with the following county ordinance for parcels of land subdivided after the year 2000. This one's in 60, right?
I agree with you. Yes, it was late 60s, early 70s.
I don't know why we need a variant because it's already done.
Well, I've asked that question before, and it was decided then that, no, everything setting would have to go by the new stuff and would have to come back through this process to get a variance from it.
I don't think we'd give anybody a variance up to 15 feet on anything.
That's a choice up to y'all.
I mean,
I'm just
what we've done is we've gone to a 25-foot setback, not a 15-foot setback.
And like I say, I was hoping they were going to try to be here tonight. They live in Gainesville.
You have any questions, buddy?
Well, if you look, right there's the lot, I got an outline. If you look right there, that one's about 4 foot off the road. Right beside us.
I bet you.
And I don't think we gave them a variance. I think it was just built and we never caught it.
They're close on that road.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all are.
And the farther down you get, the closer they get to it.
Yeah. What about the green roof one right there? How far is it off the road?
I measured this.
Right on the road.
It's 38 foot
From the road?
from the edge of the road. Edge of the
38
pavement.
feet.
Center line or edge of the road?
Edge of the
Edge of the road.
pavement.
Edge of the pavement.
That's where I measured it from on live.
I know.
But
I guess that's a measurement on Q Public, so it's not absolutely accurate.
Yeah. I still got heartburn with this because I know this has come up before, but I mean, it tells people right there that they don't have to follow that guideline. If you're not going to do that, you need to change.
I think this board asked Terrell if he would bring them before the board.
Correct.
That's the reason we're doing this.
But the decision done been made after 2000.
Well, that would make me doing something I'm not authorized to do, is varying from an ordinance. I don't have it, don't want it.
But you won't find that in our ordinance. I have not been able to find that in our ordinance. I don't
The
find-
setback?
The setbacks is there, but this year 2000 is not.
But I agree with it, it's not in the ordinance. It's on that piece of paper, but it's not written in the ordinance. And I got to go by the ordinance.
Well, I don't like holding somebody to a standard that didn't exist.
Well, I don't necessarily disagree with you, but I mean, that's his request there, and y'all can do with it what you want to. You know what I'm saying? Not 15, 20, 25, whatever y'all want to do. It's entirely up to y'all. I wish they was here to to argue their case, but they're not here.
Well, like I said, I don't think we ought to hold somebody to a standard that don't exist, but I'll make the motion to go ahead and approve the variance.
All right,
Where
we
you
got
gonna go to 15 feet?
Well, if they can go further, we'll go further, but I don't know.
Got everything I've got in front of you. And I've talked to them on the phone several times.
a motion by Commissioner Carter. Do I have a second?
We need to justify why we're doing it in the motion. That way, when somebody goes back and looks at it,
Justification, me talking to them on the phone.
be consistent with what's been done on that road.
It's very consistent is what I'm seeing. That's, I don't know why we should deny him because, everybody else up there, they didn't even know where to park on the side of the roads up there.
Again, you're looking at, to get a 3-bedroom, 2-bedroom,
I got
2-bedroom house there for another septic system, that's how much room he needs in the back is what he's going by.
I second Commissioner Carter's motion.
All right, we got a
Approve.
motion by Commissioner Carter, second by, to approve the 15-foot setback. Is that what you're going?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, approve the
All
15-foot.
right, you second the 15-foot setback.
And if you want me to clarify that, I'll do it because this did not exist in July the 11th of 1967.
I think what you need to do is include their letter in their floor plan, plot plan, whatever you want to call it, in the minutes, and that way you got it.
Okay. We got a motion second. Any other discussion? If not, we'll call for a vote. All in favor? It's a 5-0 vote.
All right, before we go to the next one, I just got a text, Aaron,
Well, he's getting double barrel anyway.
Yeah. Does he respond?
been blowing him up, but,
You got to answer something about it.
but he says, they don't look, initially, when they come do the soil test scientist looks for the closest wells. If they find one within that area, they'll mark it and then they'll put it on the survey, on the plat. And then Lily goes back out and physically looks at it again, and she finds one, she would put it there. So I take it that there's not a...
There's not a well within 100 feet.
Right.
Well, he's calling them to see.
All right, let's move on.
All right. We're going to credit for experience road department. You can see in your packet there where Teasley's asking for 4 years credit experience for Mr. K. Can we get a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion, we approve this request.
We got a second?
I second.
We got a second by Mr. Bennett, and motion by Commissioner Teasley. Any other discussion? If not, we'll call for a vote. All in favor? It's 5-0 vote. We'll go on to credit for experience jail. We've had a new detention officer hired that was used to be part-time. Now she's certified working full-time, and she's got sheriff's asking 6 years experience. Can we get a motion to approve?
So moved.
We got a motion by Commissioner Teasley. We got a
I'll give
second.
you a second, but I got a question.
We got a second by Commissioner Carter. Any discussion?
She been working down there for 6 years? Or-
She's been working in Whitworth for the state.
Okay.
I forgot how many years it was, but the state's where her experience is kind
Is
of...
that all you have? Okay. All right, any other discussion? If not, we'll call for a vote. All in favor? It's a 5-0 vote. All right, we'll go on to permission to bid fiscal year 22 recreation basketball uniforms. You got the minutes?
We got that. Also, I included the minutes of that meeting. In that same vote, there was a motion to increase the registration fee from $35 to $40. I'm not sure you want to take it up under this or later or whatever, but when I got reading the minutes, I seen that in the minutes, so I
It's all
added it on.
combined in there, I noticed that.
Well, let's just take it, we'll
I think it should be voted on
I don't
separate.
know about that.
take it on, well, let's just stick with the basketball uniform at this point. All right, can we get a motion to take the recommendation, direct advisory?
So moved.
Okay, we got a motion by Commissioner Carter, second by Commissioner Dorsey. Any discussion? If not, we'll call for a vote. 5-0 vote, okay. Now, the issue here in their minutes is to raise the price from $35 to $40. And that's their recommendation.
What I read, Jim recommended it.
What now?
Jim Owens recommended it.
Yeah, he recommended it, but Mr. Wehunt made the motion, and Ms. Gaines gave the second, and it was a 4-0 vote. So it's recommendation from the board. Recommendation.
I'll make a motion, we adopt the recommendation of the advisory board of those fees.
Okay, we got a motion by Commissioner Dorsey, got a second by Commissioner Carter. Any discussion? If not, we'll call for a vote. All in favor? 5-0 vote. All right, now we'll move on to the engagement letter.
Yeah, I included the letter from the auditors in your packet. That's required for us to sign it before they come in and start the auditing process, which should be this week. There'll be the regular audit this year, and there'll be another single audit because of all the federal money we're getting coming in, and she mentioned that in the letter. But for that audit, we pay for that out of the federal money. It don't come out of the general fund. So just to make that clear. But the motion we need is to okay it for the chairman and myself to sign the engagement letter.
I'll make a motion to do that.
Okay, we got a motion by Commissioner Carter, second by Commissioner Teaser. Any discussion? If not, we'll call for a vote. All in favor? It's 5-0 vote. All right, we'll move on to the ACCG voting delegate designation, and that's usually when we go to the conference, they've got policies for us to vote on, and a member of the board needs to be voted on by this board to be the delegate vote in that. So open the floor for nominations.
I move the chairman do it.
Second.
We got a motion by Commissioner Carter, the chairman, be the vote, and we got a second by
You still going,
Commissioner
right?
Dorsey. Huh?
You're going, right?
Unless they cancel. You're going to have to go now.
By the way.
Well, yeah.
It could very well end up being virtual before it's all said and done.
Could be, you're right.
So we got
Okay.
a motion by Commissioner Carter, second by Commissioner Dorsey. Any discussion? If not, we'll call for a vote.
I got one thing. I know we've done this in the past. But how do we decide what we vote? Do we look at the policies and decide before you go down? How we do?
Well,
You
usually,
letting the chairman make that decision.
They gonna make-
Well, you'll get the packet. All the things will be in the packet, I
but
believe.
what I've done in the past, we usually sit together and I ask, which way y'all want to go? I mean, so, and it's not really a lot of things that's
Not much.
very controversial, no way. So, anyway, we'll call for a vote. All in favor? That's 4. I'm abstaining. All right.
Going back to Mr. Williams.
Now we have, we'll take the floor as public comment. Anyone here for public comment?
We'll go back to this plan.
Go back to that plat.
Yeah, we will. I was going, if anybody wanted to
find
have
out.
public comment this time. If not, Mr. Williams, oh, you got public comment? Okay, come on.
How y'all doing tonight?
All right.
See you next.
I'm here just on my own personal,
What was your name?
Nathan Buckton is my name. I'm here on my own personal, nobody's asked me to be here at City, or I work for the Hartwell Lakeside KOA. Some of you may know me. But we had some people that are coming into our office now wondering why we're charging $70 a night, so I wanted to ask some questions as well to some of y'all that are doing the things for Milltown. I know y'all were discussed last week, the budget and everything. But I had some questions as well, because I have to go and answer my questions to these people when they ask me why we charge what we charge. And so I get asked those questions, and my question is, well, how can y'all get away with charging what you charge? So I'd like to ask those questions that get asked to me, just as a citizen, not as anybody else. So no one's asked me to do this, by the way. That's all, no one even knows. It's used in the upkeep of Milltown and Paynes Creek. Is there any tax money?
Not a penny.
Not a penny.
Not a penny.
It was a $25,000 seed money.
So there's no budget that's ever given to y'all to.
We've got a
Yeah,
budget.
there's a budget, but it's self-supporting.
It's self-supporting.
Okay. So the employees that I understand, there's 2 employees that are included in y'all's expenses every month.
I think there's more employees. That's right.
4 employees
4 or 5.
contract? Okay.
What are you talking about? Payne Creek is 4. There's 2 chemicals.
So you got 6 total in that. And the reason why I'm asking this is I can look at those expenses, and I mean, I have 6 employees myself, and, I don't know what y'all pay. You can pay what you want, but I just know that if we
Public
got...
record.
Yeah, I understand.
get it.
I understand. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just relaying questions that get asked to me, and I'm asking the same ones. And I'm trying to be fair, just and transparent, just like you asked for. That's all I'm asking for. It's a fair shot at our business, and it's a strike when people come to me and they try to say, "Well, why are you gouging us for money?" And I guarantee you, we did on our first year. We charged $35 or $39 for back in and $45 for pull throughs. We didn't make any money. Now that's our difference. Nobody's in business to break even every year. Y'all can do that. That's fine. So for people to have a negative view on us, it hurts us. And I take offense to that because that's my job and that's my livelihood, and so are all my employees as well. So in asking that question about the employees, just our average cost for power and water is $4,500. And so when I see these numbers of expenses, how much it costs you to run that, we have a few more sites than this down there. So my question is just when I see those numbers, and I think Mr. Bennett asked the same question, that was always my question, is labor included in that? Because, our water and power costs what y'all are saying their expenses are. And then we add 6 employees on top of that. Now, like I said, you can pay your employees however you'd like to, but that was one of the questions that I had. Things like the trash, that's something that we pay almost $1,000 for with trash and water, our water bill. I know y'all have a well, that's different, and I get that as well. But I mean, is that something that's added in as well, or is that something that the county picks up?
Every expense you see up there is exact expense for the parties.
Okay. So even the trash as well, that's included every single month, and there's no, the county doesn't just comp that.
We've got dumpsters up there, though.
We don't. I pay a service.
Pay a service.
You do.
Okay, exactly. All right, I'm just asking questions. I'm just asking questions that get asked to me. Why does it cost so much to run business? Because it does cost us to run business, and I'm just asking those same questions. We have to have a bookkeeper. We have somebody that has to do our finances and stuff that does all of our bookkeeping that we have to pay as well. And I don't know who does that for y'all or anything like that. If that's a bookkeeper, if that's Terrell's time, or whoever that is, and are their budgets added in as well?
It's all done online through the reservation. They keep up with every bit of how many people are there and not. Another issue, I think, of the big difference between KOA and Paynes Creek. KOA is privately owned.
Right.
You got taxes.
Right.
You
Exactly.
charge taxes to your
And I realize
people
that, 'cause y'all are a flat fee.
we're not charging any taxes because we're a government entity. That's one major difference that makes a difference in the price structure.
Exactly.
And like you said, we're not running it as a business. We're running it as a service for our people of our community.
And our goal when we did this was just to break even. We didn't know we were going to be doing what we're doing now.
Oh, and there's some expenses that need to be made.
Right. The water system. We got to
It's
upgrade
not total profit.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand
that money's going right back into that park because it's an enterprise fund.
And I wouldn't have anything to say about it, but I've literally had people show up at my office, and just because of your comment, and it's not nothing, you didn't go out of your way to say anything, but just when you said that, people got in their head. I had a guy come in that hadn't camped for 20 years and was mad at me because I'm charging $70 a night to camp at my place, and he wanted to know why. And he was mad, slammed the door, and left. Said y'all are wrong for that.
And I've tried to explain that to people, the differences between a private owned and a government owned. there's vast majority differences. Yes, it's probably going to cost you more as a privately owned park.
And it
to
does,
operate.
and that's what we're, that's what we're trying to understand. So when, comments are made, that, like that we're running a business, this is a good business model, but you're not doing it as a business. So it's not a business model to look at or to ideal after. And that
disagree with
confuses
that.
people.
Yeah, I do too.
Well, what is a business is to make profit, correct? I mean, that's not to break even.
Not in the government. If we run it like a business, we run it efficient, and we try our best to keep the costs down. We know that we got a significant expenditure we're going to have to make with the water.
Right.
We know that. And that's something that we're saving this money up to kind of work on. But we talk about this every month, just like we do our budget, our financials,
Right.
because we're totally transparent. We're going to show the numbers so people can see. When we got into this thing, I'll just be the first one to tell you, we had some criticism because we're getting into the real estate business.
Right.
And based on the path that the city took and all the money that was spent just for the city to acquire that.
Right.
We had our own issues, and we worked through those, and we're looking to do something. We got Milltown open. We're looking to relay out Milltown and go with a full-service thing.
Yeah, no, that's...
Milltown loses money.
I understand. And I'm not here, this is not a competition thing. We like, the more campgrounds that are here in this area are better for everybody.
We're going to be totally transparent. We'll share anything we got with you.
Yeah.
If you want to know what the contract salaries are, the one I can give you, I got that.
Right.
Ask me.
But I think the biggest difference is here is when people come and try to ask us, why our prices are different. And we had to do this, and we're not, as a KOA, we don't have to be, we chose to be a KOA. That's nothing that anybody ever told us to do. We're doing that. We paid them to help us. They don't own us. They don't run the business or anything. We pay them for their services. And that's another big conception. And that's just our choice. But a lot of this stuff is like, I'd like to know how much equipment is, y'all had to buy as well to run your park. I mean, that's another thing. It's like one of our big expenses is equipment. We've got, a lot more lawn area that we have to maintain than you do at Paynes Creek and Milltown. I don't know. I haven't been to Milltown in years, but I don't know how much. Right. Exactly. But to me, when I just look and I know how much it costs for me to pay people to cut grass and me to pick up trash and all, like I said, just my water and power is costing me $4,500 a month, and I see May, one of the prime months, lower than that, it kind of makes me question. That's my only concern. When I look at that, I can tell that for me, just my water is going to, and it fluctuates 1,000 more, 1,000 less, depending on usage and everything like that. So that just makes me question when I look at that, just knowing, because I can compare my first year with, when we did that, it looks almost identical to what y'all were doing because it was basically around the same price range. But we didn't make any money, so it's confusing to me to see how you guys did and we didn't, even when our expenses and things were the same.
Water bill either.
Right. But that's one small thing. And that's one small thing. But I even called and asked, and I was told that county employees are the ones that are doing the maintenance there. I don't know if that's a good source or whatever, but I just called just to question. Okay, well, that's great.
We give them a campsite and you take care of
Right.
the maintenance and stuff.
Right, but I just want to clarify the difference and things like that. We just want a fair shot at this too as well. And it's a small town. People have comments, and when comments are made, it comes back and people show up at my door, and I have to get the butt end of it. Right. And that's and we're not trying to do this to rip anybody off, and that's just how we're kind of being demonized in that way. And what we're trying to do is better this park, and that's what we've done. We had facilities that were literally dilapidated, destroyed, and we have had a lot of expansion that we had to do. We opened up 15 or more sites, so we're doing a lot more than just having a turnkey operation and going in and doing these things. So to me, I haven't been dealing with this for the last 2 weeks, and like I said, it's no big deal. Anybody can do whatever they want to as a business or as a county or whatever, but when it starts affecting, people coming to my door and, saying things, and all it took was that one comment, believe it or not, people do watch and listen to everything I'll say, so when something like that said, people get angry or something at me, and people, love that park just like I do, And I understand when they see that the prices change, but we have people that have been with us since day one that are still coming back, and they love it. And, and they're our customer base, and that's what we're building. That's what we're trying to do. And believe it or not, they go and camp with y'all, and they come and camp with us, and we're all, and that's fine. And when people ask me where's another good campground, I'll tell them Paynes Creek, or I'll tell them Lot Sadler. I mean, that's part of it. And another thing is insurance as well. I mean, that's one of our big costs as well. Like if I'm down at Paynes Creek and a tree falls on my RV, do y'all have insurance? Does the county pay for that? Is that also added into the budget, or is that something that?
But your liability is under the umbrella company cover of the county. Now, as far as a tree falling on the county, no, it's the county problem.
So that's the camper's problem. So if I'm on the property,
Camper folks have insurance coverage, as you say.
right?
Parks is not liable for that.
So-
No, under Georgia law.
No parts are allowed for. But anyways, we have insurance anyway. That's another cost of us. I mean, I guess that's
And that's another difference between private
exactly
and government.
exactly. So that-
Taxes, property taxes as well. And,
So what I'm getting at is it's just not fair, when Mr. Dorsey wants to say it's interesting to look at what we're doing and see how, that is. It's not fair to compare us to what y'all are doing. And that's all I'm asking for is a fair shot, and not to look at this is what, y'all are doing and then we're doing something totally different. Because I'll guarantee you our money is not, substantially more. And that's all I'm here asking for and asking these questions. Because I have to answer all these questions when people ask. They say, why does it cost that much? Because I have to go down through and say, well, we have to pay insurance every month. We have to pay trash bills. We have to pay power. We have to pay taxes. We have to pay, all these other things that we have to pay that y'all don't have to. And so our expenses are a total different thing.
And in a true spirit of transparency, people ask us the same questions. Why do y'all charge?
Right.
And the response that we usually give them is, you're for profit. We're not. We're looking to break even.
Right.
And, we hear this, the city's got over $400,000 in consultant fees and all that just to acquire it, that the
Right.
taxpayers paid for.
Right, and that we're paying that back.
and
That's our job, is to pay that back. And that's our end goal, is to
And
give
how
them
much
that
have you
money
paid back of it?
We've started paying on it this year, and I'm not, like I said, if the owner wants to talk to you about that, I can, but I'm not
Public
going to.
record.
Yeah, exactly. So if you want to go and look it up, you can, but I don't want to tell you a number I don't
It's-
specifically know.
This board has plans to expand, and we've talked about even at the last meeting, looking at doing this year-round.
Yeah. Yeah,
but,
that'd
I
be
mean,
great.
it's-
Like I said, one campground, it doesn't matter. Like I said, I'm not looking at this as a competition thing. I wish y'all the best. I wish y'all could do great, because most people that come to Lake Hartwell, when they come here, they say, we love your campground. We like to go to campground to campground. So we have people that go to Lake Lanier and then they come here, but if they find you guys and then us, they'll go back and forth there. People like to go to different ones. So it's not a,
You do have some advantage there, being close to town,
Right.
the restaurants.
It's a
and all.
different-
I mean,
different
you go
type
to
of
Paynes
camping.
Creek, that's like on the other side of the
right.
world.
You're on the Tougaloo part of the
But
lake.
there's people that like that part
Right.
of it, being away from everything.
Exactly.
But there's other people that like being close to town and
Exactly.
being close to the facilities and all. So I've never put KOA campground down as far as talking to people. I've tried to, I've camped there in the past, and I think it's a great campground.
Right.
But by the same token, you've got to look at the demographics around this area, what people can afford to do.
Right.
That is a major facilitator
Right.
in these parks. What can his family do to stay a week? How much it's going to cost to stay a week? Well, we can look here and look here at these two prices. That may be a deciding factor. I don't know.
Right.
But
I heard people complain about Paynes Creek.
Yep.
Right.
We've got complaints.
Yeah, I've heard them say it's too high.
Right. Well, I mean, and that's a trend that we're here in this area have been very spoiled with. Because you go to anywhere else that doesn't have Corps of Engineer lakes and state property and things like that, it's a totally different world.
that's another issue you're coming off of. I mean, it used to be a state park where
Right.
they charged $25
Exactly.
a night. And then this has been a shock to
Right.
a culture shock to the people of Hart County, because
Right.
they go in here now, it's $70. It used to be $25.
Right.
Well, things are changing.
And the thing is it's not. And we only have 3 sites that are that much, and they have their reasons why they are, and they're because of their full hookup and their patio sites, and you get more for those sites. So what we did was price, instead of going flat across the board, we just modeled after what KOA does. And I know people have their issues with that, but I believe I wasn't for it either when I first started going. But when I go and KOA is, I mean, they know what they're doing. They've been in business for 50, 60 years. They know what they're doing. And there's also one in Anderson too I never even knew about before I got into this. They've been there since the late 60s, and they've been doing it for a long time. But you know,
But something you may look at, Nathan, is a KOA a fit for Hart County? Does it fit here?
Yeah.
I mean, because you got one in Anderson, you got one in Commerce. Both of those are right there on 85.
Right.
And you're going to get the traffic from North Carolina to Florida. Yeah, they might use those right there off of 85. They're just traveling through.
And most of the
coming off 20 miles off the interstate to come to this one. I mean, does it fit? That's all.
And that's the reason why we're a holiday. They have journeys, and most journeys they're like a stop overnight and things like that. Like I said, you know, if anybody has questions, I'm there all the time. Stop by and ask me questions. I mean, I'm there all the time. So when somebody comes out with false information, comes to me mad, I can't change their mind or I can't explain anything to them. When it gets to that point,
I don't think anybody said anything false. It's just
no. But I'm just saying it gets turned into that. So I mean, even when something
we took a lot of criticism ourselves when we got into this.
Right.
There was a lot of public criticism.
Oh yeah.
And you know, we said what we said is if we can't make this thing work, we're not going to do it.
Right.
We're not going to continue to push forward and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to try to make it work. If it works, it works. Don't, it don't.
Right.
And that's the attitude this whole board took. And you know, when we started looking at it, and it's the same thing with Milltown. Opening it up, yeah, as Cheryl said, it's not making money, but we've got the approval from the Corps, we've got a verbal that, you know, they're willing to work with us as far as relaying out the sites, and that's part of our long-term plan.
Right. Yeah, I would, you know, just to me, it's just questionable. I mean, when I look at the expenses, and you know, I mean, I honestly, like I said, I'm not taking it as a, you know, I would like to really see. I mean, because I mean, if y'all would love to help us out do better business, I know you don't have to, but if it's for public record or anything, I mean, I would love to see how you could run a park off $3,600 in a month. I mean, that's, you know, sometimes that's my labor for a week. You know, so I just, to me, it's questionable.
It's all lowball. You got to request it. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll get it for you.
Okay. And that's all, like I said, these questions are, and this is stuff that I get asked all the time, because, I mean, you know, when you come in and you change anything from state to whatever, you're going to have that pushback. And we've been working on this for 2 years, and I'll guarantee you all the people that have came, they've enjoyed it and seen what we've done and why we're doing what we're doing, and they love it and they come back. And, you know, and all we're doing here is all that money is going in to better this park, and I'll guarantee you my owner is for that. He wouldn't be here. He wouldn't have stuck through. He got this business in a bad, terrible time when the pandemic started. We didn't even know if campers were going to be allowed that year. I mean, it went the other way. I mean, we didn't know that.
Right.
You know, and that would have been a good time for him to pull out. But he believed in this. He's been sticking with it for a long time. And like I said, I don't want to put any words in his mouth. But just for me is you know, I see all this and I have to manage this and deal with the public all the time, as you all do. It's probably more so than I do. But when some people come into my office and say these things, I wanted to say something just to clarify, just for the public, because I know public watches this, and maybe hopefully that guy's watching and will understand that what we're doing and what you guys are doing are two different things. So to put them side by side is not fair. And I just would like to just see that that's in agreement, that's, you know, we're in a business for a different private ownership, and then y'all are doing this for the county and for a different reason than we are.
For a service.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's all I'm asking for, and that's the only reason why I wanted to make a comment this evening.
Okay.
I want to say this, Nathan, you've done a real good job cleaning that park up down there. It looks good down there.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And that's our goal, is just to make it better than what it was, because I mean, I've seen it just go downhill basically my entire life.
Where's your office at down there?
As soon as you come in, right past the flagpole, right behind the flagpole there. Yeah, store. There's a store there now, and you know, like I said, we're there, and you know, we're there every day, 7 days a week. Somebody's in the office. People got questions. We're there. We're there for the community. And Barry could have hired everybody from outside of the town, but every single one of my employees live inside this county. Every single one of them, and that's what he's there for. He's here to help this county. I guarantee he is.
Right.
And I am too, so.
Excuse me. Well, campgrounds bring a lot of tax revenue into them.
Right. And that was the main purpose of doing what, the city wanted to do here. And that's, and that's what we're trying to get done as well. And like I said, it's for outside people and for the community too. And I promise you, we got a place for everybody.
Right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Nate.
They can thank Walter Gordon's daddy for the vision of Hart State Park. Isn't that right, Walter?
Yeah.
Okay.
My father built that when he was director of the State Parks Department
That's right.
in the late 1960s.
Mary Beth, do you have something?
Yeah, I have a question.
If you would, come up.
Mayor Beth Foster? Anything else besides that? All good? I had a question about these, what y'all put off to the next meeting, about these building ordinances. And it says, found it online on y'all site. Are y'all going to hire somebody that's going to be under the county, or are you going to subcontract out to a company?
Subcontract out to a company. And we haven't actually hired them yet. That's the reason we waited about passing the ordinance.
I was listening to the non-responses. Y'all was really careful and how y'all was speaking about that.
Okay.
And so it's, because county workers are wonderful, absolutely amazing. And they report directly to Terrell. And so that's subcontracting. So it'd be a whole organization coming in.
As needed.
They'll come in.
They won't work for us. They'll be working for the people that are building the house. That's who they'll contract with.
Just to do the inspections on the...
That's not what's on the site. According to what I was reading, if I replace a toilet in my house,
You're not totally exempt from it right now.
This is
That's all
for
it'll be
new construction only.
it will say that, if I go back over it word by word.
This is what we're tailoring this to, is new construction only.
Right.
So we're looking at a third party called Bureau Veritas. They're based in Jackson County. The reason we want them is this is what they do. They do all Franklin County stuff. They've got rave reviews from Franklin County. That way we don't have a person on staff because we really think it's going to take more than one person to do this. And the economy tanks, and then we're going to have to lay people off. So we can do this much more efficiently using a third person, and the people using the service will be the people to pay for it, not all the taxpayers. That's the way we're setting this up.
At the very end of this, there's a little, it looks like it's highlighted, but it doesn't lead anywhere. It talks about the violations, and if you're in violation of this ordinance, then you go before Thomas Jordan. Am I right?
Just be magistrate.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
But they're going to get an opportunity to fix it first.
You can also appeal.
But just the ordinance is going to read new construction only.
Yes.
Guys, my house where I live is 60 years old.
We'll build you a new one, Mary Beth.
I need somebody just bring me a new house.
Okay.
We just swap it out right there on site.
All right. Is that all you have?
Yeah, because I was afraid somebody's going to say, "Hey, Mary, you're going to jail because you replaced the faucet in your kitchen."
No,
That's the first reading on this.
Unless we were asked to be there.
But it says you need a permit, though.
If you get put in a position to where you have to have inspections, your inspector will come out and he'll either pass you or deny you. Then you've got to get your contractor or whoever to come back.
New
to
construction.
Get it up to, on new construction. But if it were to go to remodel stuff,
Good.
you have the opportunity to fix it. Nobody's going to write you a ticket. No.
Oh, no, I'm saying I got to fix a lot in my house.
People get them tickets and don't apply for permits to try to build houses.
Yeah. All right, they'll go into it knowing this. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys.
Mr. Williams.
find out.
This is all good.
I have a text from Aaron. Have y'all received the information?
Still
He sent me a text.
completely not clear, but he did answer.
Well, I think I have a good answer here. He said that, the neighboring wells, typically neighboring wells within 100 feet are shown on the soil report, which was, of course, done by Joe Morris. And we locate them, when they know about them. And then, of course, Lily, double checks. If she finds one that the soil guys missed, she makes Aaron aware, and, we go back and locate. Then he says, the last sentence, we are not aware of any at this time. So I believe that that's been looked at and it's been addressed, in terms of
I'll reinstate my motion to approve this.
Did you talk to the Roystons to find out if they have a well or water?
I have not spoken to, but he addressed that one particularly also, specifically, I should say, the Royston property, saying that there's a note on the plat adjoining me that any wells must be placed within 20 feet of the right-of-way. Okay, so very close to the road.
That's on the whole subdivision.
Well,
That's on the whole
still the same. It
subdivision
would be 20 feet within, the right-of-way is what he's saying here. So my point being, the way that, my lot 3, which adjoins the Royston property, would be way far back, because you remember how the shape of that's the specific reason of having that lot shaped in that manner was to provide that good soil back in that section back behind lot number 5, which 20 feet of right-of-way for the Roystons, and then going back to the back section of good soil area for my lot 3 provides more than sufficient distance there.
I still have an issue, and I'm going to tell you why. You used the word typically, and that's what he used in a text. My phone's died since. And when they know about it, the only way they're going to know for sure is to get on their property, and then they're really trespassing. I have no problem doing this contingent tonight. I just want to make sure that we're all protected, and I'll vote for it, contingent upon the verification of that. But this is one of those situations like Commissioner Carter talked about, when this is one that we should have had before tonight. But I get it. I know there's a problem. But I think it's in the best interest of this board that we do this contingent upon verifying that well's not going to be a problem, or verifying that, having them just double check it. That's all I ask.
I reinstate my second with the contingency of verification.
To be fair to Mr. Williams, we all know the issue of Lily. She just got by here today to sign the paper.
Well,
I wish.
Push come to shove.
I'm sure that he had it here earlier too.
I understand.
We just can't.
I understand.
We're in a situation.
We're all danged if we do and danged if we don't. And I'm just trying to make sure. Let's just proceed with caution and not.
Well, he can still go ahead and sell his land and close it, right? He can still go ahead and sell his property and close it.
Well, the approval is contingent upon that there not being a well that's going to be an issue there. That's all.
Somebody can check that out tomorrow, can't they?
Should be able to.
I'll do what it takes.
All right, I'll make a motion with contingent upon the well.
Just to be clear, if the corner lot and the Roystons are connected to county water, then we don't have an issue.
We don't even talk about this.
Okay. And, that...
There's still the potential of an issue here, and this is the point I was making earlier. If they're connected to county water, that's all fine and dandy, but if there is a well that's still there, the health department should have already made somebody fill those in.
Well, exactly, but...
That's what I'm saying.
I understand, and that... I guess that takes me back to, I have 2 wells on my property, lot number 1. So, I still feel, very adamant about the fact that, we are working within all the guidelines, all the requirements. They're not guidelines, these are requirements.
That's right.
So,
State law.
I have an issue, well, let me say it this way. With Aaron responding, I think his word typically is simply just to say, could there have been a mistake made here? But, it's not to suggest that there was. I think his word typically is just simply, he's at home trying to, rest. He wasn't feeling well today either. So, my whole point being that, just the fact that he used a guarded word was, I think, not, sufficient reason to not approve. But
Well, if Terrell
we want to
goes
go ahead
down-
with the contingency, if that's, the insistence here, I'm okay with that, I guess. I'd rather have that than a denial, most definitely.
If Terrell go down and check it in the morning with that contingency, then you're good to go.
All right. Motion contingent upon the location of a well on the Rollston property. All right, your second?
Second.
All right, any other discussion? If not, we'll call for a vote. All in favor? It's 5-0 vote. Thank you, Mr. Williams.
All right, gentlemen. Do I need to come do anything? I'll be happy.
No.
Whatever.
I can call the water supervisor, see if they got to do this,
I got something I'd like to address while we talking about wells. And all of y'all need to look, when you go down to Paynes Creek Campground, I talked to you about it one time before. When you turn left to go to Paynes Creek Campground, on Paynes Creek Road, there's a little well thing right there.
full concrete.
Did they fill it up? Okay, all right, that's good then.
They put, the attendants has been there so many years, said that they walked themselves in the concrete.
Well, how long ago was that?
Several years they got them. Said it's well on the property, but they filled it up with concrete.
Now, you can get out of the car and go over and look, that's a hole.
This is a 6-inch board drill with
No, it's a bowl.
Wouldn't take a whole lot of concrete.
That's a big well.
All right, can we get the motion to adjourn and go to the executive session, real estate personnel litigation?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Teasley, second by Commissioner Bennett. Any discussion? If not, we'll call for a vote. All in favor? 5-0. What's going on? Get a motion to adjourn executive session in the regular meeting. Second moved by Commissioner Dorsey, second by, who y'all did? Second by Commissioner Teasley. All in favor? It's 5-0 vote. Terry, we'll be writing these notes now.
I'll make a motion that we grant the employee we discussed extended leave to cover over to October 1st, and which it restarts.
I'll second. Okay, we got a motion, second.